So, as part of our business analyst with product owner learning, today we are going to discuss about how the transition happens from the business analyst role to product owner role. Because as a business analyst, irrespective of the technology domain that we are working for, the roles and responsibilities majorly focusing on business goal, objective, need, scope, translating business problem to the business uh, requirements to solution from their technical solution. So all these things generally as a BA we do. So let me write down the roles and responsibilities of a BA and how different BA to product owner and what kind of skill set are required to become a product owner. This is what generally the major thing I'm going to cover. So as a business analyst, the first one, we must be knowing about the business situation of the customer, as in when you know. When you are working under as a business analyst, we are working for any role as a BA. We need to understand about the kind of business situation we were in. In this business situation, we should understand about the business problem, followed by this what goals and objectives we want to achieve, followed by the scope, etc. Next, assessing the existing system, which is nothing but as is process. Translating existing system to proposed system, which is nothing but to be system. Okay. So as a BA, for this, generally we do gap analysis. This is all something we do. Next, feasibility study we do. It can be technical feasibility, it can be budgetless feasibility, it can be operational, regulatory feasibility. All that we do as a BA. Next, we need to translate the business problem into solution. To communicate this solution, because this has to be communicated. Okay, to communicate this solution, we prepare different documents. Like if we prepare some business requirement document, SRS document with the help of technical team, and functional requirements document. For visualization purpose, we prepare some UML diagrams, something like use case sequence diagrams will be prepared. Next, we create some use cases followed by the test cases and all. Next, participating in requirement traceability matrix. This is also requirement traceability matrix. So this is generally requirement traceability matrix with the association with the testing team generally we do, because we need to compare between use cases to test cases. So participating in requirement traceability matrix, all that. Generally, this is all something that we do. When we follow agile environment, generally this is where the difference you will be finding the role of a business analyst to the product owner. Because product owner is a role, that tactical role that we are playing, because there are two things you need to know. One is about product owner, at the same time product manager. Okay, there are two different roles. Okay, I'm referring to the product owner now. Generally, product owner itself is a tactical role. It's okay. Tactical role we normally we are using in the agile environment, apart from the Scrum Master, etc. So if it is a product owner, generally product owner is a strategic role. It's a strategic role, like it. It's a strategic role, right, where product owner try to know about the complete life cycle, competitor analysis, right? So this is all about the strategic role of a product owner. But when it comes to the product, a product manager, when it comes to the product owner, is a tactical role generally we play. So as a BA, knowing about documentation, writing some documents, right? So translating them, conducting some feasibility study. At the same time, even root cause analysis can be done, right? So root cause analysis. All these things will be done as a BA. This is the common uh, general responsibilities, activities that we do, irrespective of technology, the domain that we do. Now, when we are translating our journey from transforming our journey from business analyst to the product owner, the responsibilities are separate. So normally, if we are the product owner role, right? So if you are wearing a hat as a product owner, BA turn into product owner generally. The first thing is to defining the goal and vision of the product, because as I already mentioned you, it's a tactical role. Defining the goal and vision of the product must be the high priority. Defining the goal and vision of the product must be the first priority. Point number one. Point number two, understanding the requirements that we, because as being a requirement business analyst, understand product owner, whatever the requirements that we understood, that has to be converted into epics. From there, those can be converted into user stories. These user stories can be again minimized into task and subtasks. That's a different thing. Okay, I don't get into more about that. Okay, tasks and all everything. This is all something that we do. Next, creating and maintaining product value. This related this practical video relating to this practicalities is concerned in Jira. I already uh, posted many videos regarding that. I'll give you the link description below to some of the Jira videos relating to BA product owner kind of videos I'll be posting so that you guys can go through that. The practical way, right? So because there were many, I'll add some few to the attachment so that you can see it in below to this video. I'll give the description. Links I'll provide. Okay. Creating and maintaining product backlog. Next, product backlog grooming as well. Product backlog grooming, etc. This is all something as a product owner we do initially to start with. Means translating from a BA role to a product owner. Because product owner, as I mentioned you, it's a tactical role. Your idea should be to know about what goal, what vision that we want to achieve, right? So how this can be translated into epics and user stories. That kind of understanding is needed. If you are a BA, you will be confined to the above one. If you are translating into product owner, this is the case, right? So you need to maintain product backlog, right? So product backlog grooming, everything we need to do. Next, we need to define the sprint goal. Whatever the sprint goal that we have, right? So defining the sprint goal. So these are the major responsibilities as a product owner we have to do, right? So along with this, I can say like because we have MVP as well, minimum viable product has to be initiated. So MVP ideation, right? So this is all something as a product owner we must be well versed with. So when we are translating from BA to product owner, this is the skill sets that we should acquire. This is one thing which people should be, because many people when I come across, right? So when I teach, many people ask me, right? So how different from BA to product owner and all. So in regard to that, I'm just making this video. So this is the difference, generally differences. Now, when it comes to the tools, like what kind of tools, practically when you try to understand this in a practical manner, what kind of tools are required? Generally, there are different tools we have, like UML diagrams we have to prepare. There were many tools to prepare UML diagrams, something like Star UML, Microsoft Visio, Lucid Charts, Draw.io, right? There are different, right? So UML diagrams we prepare, use cases and sequence diagrams can be prepared. use case and sequence diagrams. For that, we have many tools, as I told you. I'm just mentioning few. Star UML, Lucid charts, right? So Microsoft Visual, right, etc. There are many, right? So all these can be used. This is for UML part, diagrams. Next, Balsamiq we can use. This is Balsamiq is being used for wireframes and mockups. Balsamiq is used for wireframes and mockups. Okay, this tool even we use it. Okay, this is the point one. Next, for application lifecycle management, generally we have HPQC. Okay, HPQC is a HP Quality Center, we call it, or HPALM, okay, or ALM, Application Lifecycle Management, because organizations have different application lifecycle management tools are there, wherein to translate the requirements. That they may have their internal tools also, or HPQC or ALM tool can be used for that. Because subject to condition here, these tools are not something open source or no trial versions available. They're just completely licensed tools available in the organization level. So practical way of knowing about this will be difficult. There is a limitation because to an extent possible there is a limit. But for Balsamiq, for UML diagrams and all, we don't have anything of that sort. But QC, ALM and all, we have it. That is one thing which we need to know that. Next, if you want to write some queries and all, right? So because some technical BA, subject to condition, if you are a technical business analyst role and all, knowing about SQL query is important. Even to create some dashboards, etc. Right? So dashboards for data visualization, either Power BI, any one is enough. Okay, any Power BI or Tableau is required. Okay, so these are the tools are needed for any BA. Okay, majorly because again here you should understand one thing. Nowadays we are transforming from that functional business analyst role to the technical business analyst role, right? So because some companies are asking to have some technical knowledge also. So technical BA role, right? So if you are translating into technical BA, I already mentioned you SQL Power BA that is required. Knowing about some basics about XML and JSON files are becoming important. Next, most of the integration projects nowadays, so that people may ask you about some API integration stuff, etc. So API, normally web API, RESTful API, SOAP API, all that. So I'll tell you RESTful API. RESTful API knowledge is required. Next, some knowledge over the web services. Some knowledge over web services. These are all something technical skills. These are all the technical skills. There can be many because if you go for domain specific something like healthcare and all, application knowledge may be required, right? So you're going for facets and all, healthcare. If you are going for insurance company, property casualty insurance and all, guide your application knowledge may be required. That is different. So application knowledge is an add-on, right? So company to company, project to project, domain to domain, that may differ because BA roles have many ways, right? So that's the reason. But technical skills are concerned if you transform ourselves into a technical BA. If we are a technical BA, technical business analyst, apart from that SQL, apart from Power BI, all that, right? Apart from the area that I have written there, that's the reason I'm not writing here. XML, JSON, some API, web services, understanding about some process over the because many projects nowadays are configuration analyst. We as a BA working as a configuration analyst also. Some basic knowledge over the configuration and integration means RESTful API, all that. So this knowledge is becoming inevitable if you are translating it to a technical BA. These are the tools, these are all the technologies which we must be aware of, even about microservices. Some knowledge over the architecture, right? So microservices knowledge, right? So microservices, you must be aware of about microservices because earlier we are into the monolithic approach. Now we are following by microservices or event-driven architecture. So we have right. So these are all are required. Okay, these are all is needed. Now, some part of even Jira also I'll mention here because some companies uh, inspire because assume that they don't have any product owner as such. So business analyst can need to write user stories also. Subject to project, it may vary. So that's the reason why I'm adding Jira also for that. But formally, as a product owner that you are working, the tool is Jira. One tool is Jira. Jira. This is for user story writing all that is required for you. That is one number. Next, we have Confluence also, which is a document collaboration tool for document collaboration. So we have Confluence for document collaboration as well. We have these are the major two tools. If it is not Jira, some companies use Azure DevOps. Okay, because some people are following any DevOps environment, create pipelines and all. Azure DevOps they use. Some people uses Rally. Okay, these are all add-ons, right? So we have many tools, but any one tool is preferable because there were some videos. I post some of my videos in this link description. Some useful videos which I believe maybe you may have some idea over that. Okay, some user stories and all, right? So Confluence for document collaboration, where if you want to write some product requirements, everything can be written in the Confluence. Use a Jira, we can use it for user stories, product backlog management, definement and all. Azure DevOps mainly as like as Jira only, but Azure DevOps majorly when we are creating some data pipelines, being a DevOps professionals and all, on that grounds, we write epics user stories in Azure DevOps also. That can be even done. Next, Rally is also one of the same way here. So these are the major tools we use this as a product owner. It's a product owner. Okay, here which is a strategic role I'm saying, which is a tactical role I'm saying. If you are a product manager, then that is different. Which is a strategic role we have, right? So knowing about the product, complete end-to-end product life cycle, that's a different, which I don't want to get into that. Right? It unnecessarily deviates. So this is where, right? So when you want to become a business analyst with product owner combination, okay. So in that regard, so these are the skill sets one must be good with. Okay, this is what something as a responsibilities I'm referring to. At the same time, these are the skill sets which are required. Next about the Scrum Master part. Okay, Scrum Master part, business analyst with combination to the Scrum Master that I will be discussing in the next video.